from Zohran Mamdani exposed.
For all you folks that are saying, oh, Zohran's not radical, he's just capitalism with a few social programs.
Denounce Sharia law! Denounce Hezbollah!
To WGN TV producer detained pants down.
What's your name?
Debbie Brockman, I work for WGN.
Should all liberals be arrested?
Yeah, I am triggered. You're insulting a whole community of fucking people.
LGBTQ propaganda banned in Hungary schools.
The mother is a woman, the father is a man, and leave our kids alone.
Gen Z occupy! Gen Z occupy!
Oh shit, here we go again.
They're coming for you! They're coming for you!
Hello, how are you? Welcome back to ShowNewTrend. I'm host of today and my name is Elvis Derry.
Illinois state troops are dragging and arresting anti-ICE rioters in Chicago. Do you think this is a great move that will make the streets safe again?
You're not allowed in the roadway. Do not come into the roadway or you'll be arrested. Do not approach the Illinois state troopers.
Right now, you can join us. You do not have to do this. You do not have to support these guys.
There's like 5 fucking people, really? You guys are
What will your actions say? What do your actions say?
Anti-ICE rioters were captured in multiple video recordings attacking and harassing patriots who are fighting to make America great again. One patriot was attacked at Broadview ICE facility by triggered crazy liberals.
Get street where you're gonna get arrested. Go.
He's
get in the
triggered.
street. Go.
Look at him.
Get in the yeah, I am triggered. You're insulting a whole community of fucking people.
Bye-bye. Check your cis documented
Yeah, bye-bye to
privilege.
you.
Do you want me to tell you the world?
What the fuck?
Bye-bye. Deport them all. Trans illegals. Trans illegals, Christ.
I'll tell you the words. If you just
Trans
shut your fucking
illegals,
mouth for once,
Christ.
that's my
Cállate.
ignorance. I
Cállate la boca, güey.
The words will come to you.
Cállate. Cálmate,
But in the next
güey.
4
Cálmate.
days.
The leftists are protesting day and night, and the only reason they protest during the day is because they are losers who don't have jobs and are getting paid to riot.
Hey everyone, Chris Cluey here, outside the HBPD at the Civic Center, round 2. So we don't leave until ICE leaves. If you want to join us, we'll be here every night.
Chris Kulwe, a leftist California State Assembly candidate who promotes the harassment of ICE online, was arrested during a Huntington Beach City Council meeting.
I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Former Minnesota Vikings punter Chris Cluey kicking up a fuss, getting arrested at Tuesday's city council meeting in Huntington Beach, California. Cluey swarmed by police officers who carried him out of the room. Before the arrest, a fiery denouncement of President Donald Trump's Make America Great Again movement.
MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans.
Kalui was protesting plans for this 50th anniversary plaque for Huntington Beach's Central Library, inscribed Magical, Alluring, Galvanizing, Adventurous, or MAGA, and below it, Making America Great Again.
Antifa now threatens the families of law enforcement. In Texas, the spouse of an ICE agent officer received a voicemail filled with violent threats. Homeland Security has vowed to hunt and put them behind bars.
Hi, I'm just calling to say, assuming you're married to and with a last name like that, I don't know how you let your husband work for ICE and you sleep at night. You, your family. I hope your kids get deported by accident. How do you sleep? You. Did you hear what happened to the Nazis after World War II? Because that's what's going to happen to your family.
Don Lemon was destroyed by two people in the streets of Chicago after he attempted to convince them that crossing the border illegally is not a crime.
Okay, crossing the border illegally is not a crime?
No, it's not a criminal act. Okay. It's a misdemeanor.
So why are they being sent back and saying that they're breaking the law?
That's the point.
Okay, as somebody that actually...
We don't know if they're breaking the law because they won't tell. There's no due process. Where's the evidence? That's the whole point. And if they are breaking the law, most people will say, okay, then they need to go if they're criminals. But if they're not, why are they being rounded up and sent out? Especially when he promised to deport the criminals. And now he's not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going...
Misdemeanor is not a crime. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So misdemeanor is not a crime?
It's not a criminal act, no. If you get charged with a misdemeanor, that's not a criminal act.
So why get charged at all then, if it's not a criminal act?
Because we have different levels of crime. Everything is not the same.
So it is crime.
No,
it's just
we
have
different levels of. I shouldn't say crime, but it's not. It's not. You're not. It's not a crime. You're not breaking the law. I mean, you are breaking the law, but it's not a criminal act.
So it's breaking the law.
No, you're not breaking the law.
The misdemeanor is not breaking the law.
No.
If you're speeding, drinking, get pulled over, DUI.
That's not a criminal act. Well, no, if you're speeding is a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor. Right. So it's still breaking the law.
Okay, well, if you want to qualify that, we're doing semantics. But what I'm saying, but what I'm trying to tell you is everything is not the same. It's all not one thing.
But is it the law?
What is it? The law that what?
Is it a law to come over legally? Is there a law?
There are rules that processes that you should follow. Yeah, so you're breaking rules. You're breaking the rules, but you're not necessarily breaking a law.
So what happens when you break the rules?
Then you suffer the consequences. But the consequences should not. Look, no one is saying no one should suffer the consequences. You guys are getting things mixed up.
Megan Winfield, who is a Democrat candidate for the U.S. Congress from Kentucky, posted a campaign video wearing a Fuck ICE shirt. Patriots, are you willing to vote for the Democrats?
Hi, I'm Megan Winfield, and I'm running to be your next Congresswoman in Kentucky's 2nd District. And over the last few months, with your help, we've went over to 8 different counties, going to county fairs, protests, meetings, picnics, Democratic Party meetings, and getting to talk to so many people throughout the district. And through that, we have made so many great connections and heard lots of great stories. But now we want to get back to our roots. To get back to what started this campaign to begin with. So meet me here, where it all began. Right here at Fountain Square in downtown Bowling Green, October 11th, this Saturday at 12 p.m. Meet me here, and let's have a conversation about next steps, how we can build a better future, and what we can do to save our democracy. I look forward to chatting with you. Power to the people, y'all.
A New York City attorney has sounded the alarm on socialist Zohran Mamdani's campaign promised to abolish misdemeanors, vowing that it will put residents at greater risk and erase accountability for violent criminals.
All right, I'm Sweeney. I am down here outside of the district's attorney's office here in Lower Manhattan. And for all the videos I have ever published, guys, I have never once asked you to reshare them. I've never once said spread them to your friends and make them go viral. But as God is my witness, I hope this one goes mega viral with no vested interest to myself, only for the safety of New York City residents. And it'll be a short one, okay? I'm going to start off with a demand. I'm going to paint you a very scary picture, and I'm going to end it with a question. And here's my demand. Stop pissing on my leg and telling me that it's just fucking raining. For all you folks that are saying, oh, Zohran's not radical, he's just capitalism with a few social programs. He just came out with a press release saying he wants to abolish misdemeanors. And thankfully for you guys, I'm an attorney, so I can explain to you guys what a few misdemeanors are, all right? 3rd-degree assault, 3rd-degree drug possession, theft, larceny, DWI, forcible touching, for that crusade of women that was across, social media last summer saying, where are all the strong men that aren't coming up to protect us when someone touches us on a subway? Even if I did what I wanted to do, which is step up and knock someone's fucking teeth out, Zohran would arrive and say, cops, let him go. That was just a forcible touching. It's not a jailable offense, which leads me to my final question. Zohran, what kind of fucking peyote are you smoking?
So, would you still vote for Zohran Mamdani? Take a look at how Americans are resisting the New York City candidate.
Anti-Semite! 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 No, an anti-Semite! Denounce it! Denounce Sharia law! Denounce Hezbollah! Denounce it! You can't denounce it! You can't denounce it, you fucking rat! Back the f*** off! Back the f*** off! Anti-Semite!
What a shame the liberal media won't tell you how Trump administration found 83 unregistered firearms and 7 missing children during Chicago ICE raids.
Yeah, they took a family. They took what the fuck?
Well, liberals, you're cooked. You are officially cooked. So, with this whole administration, what they're doing with these raids that we're seeing in Chicago, it turns out they found 83 unlicensed firearms, all right? Trump administration hasn't even been bragging about this. They found 83 unlicensed firearms. And on top of that, they found 7 missing children. The Trump administration hasn't bragged about none of it. That means he's right, y'all are wrong, and this takeover is about to go nationwide. I'm excited, honestly. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Are you living in Portland? Are you free to speak your mind? One man came out to address the issues affecting his life in Portland, and this is what he had to say.
Living in Portland for 10 years has made me afraid to speak my mind, which I believe around these parts they call inclusion. But I just visited my home state of New York and, look, there's nonsense there too, but at least we're allowed to talk about it. You see, in Portland, we're not allowed to talk about it. What is it, you may ask? Well, it is anything that doesn't meet the approval of what I'm calling the cluster beehive. That is, the emotionally dysregulated, narcissistic, antisocial individuals who make life suck for all the rest of us. So if you find that I'm posting my ideas too much, you will have to excuse me because I've had a recent revelation. I decided that I've been silent for too long. You see, during the 10 years that I've lived in Portland, I watched it go from the most beautiful city I'd ever seen to not. And it happened because we have allowed the cluster beehive to intimidate, harass, bully, or otherwise abuse the common sense and moral decency crowd. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about mobs. They're cowards. A mob is a group of cowards that are too weak-willed, ignorant, and emotionally dysregulated to stand on their own merits. And so, I'm not afraid anymore. It's time for moral decency and common sense to come back to Portland. I look forward to seeing you there. Peace!
In Chicago, black residents are fed up with the Democrat Party. It is time for Americans to open their eyes.
This morning I heard Mayor Brandon Johnson say that the sentiment in the black community is waning. A lie. The sentiment is not waning. We are not okay with you taking our resources and giving them to people who don't live here. As Mark stated before, you are preparing housing for them. One of the reasons that the city of Chicago was able to close 50 schools was because of the black flight. And the reason we had a black flight was because there is no affordable housing in this city. It is because the city of Chicago shut down the voucher system so that blacks who needed to get affordable housing could not. So they had no choice but to flee to other states. But now you found money for the migrants. That's right. We're calling foul. And then another thing you said was that the faith-based leaders were helping to bring around the sentiment. We haven't paid attention to faith-based leaders since Dr. Martin Luther King. And guess what? We're not listening to them now. We understand that they are bought and paid for. We understand that you control the narrative that they are trying to speak about. So let me just say this to you. We're not listening to them the same way we're not listening to you. What you're doing is not okay.
WGN TV producer Debbie Brockman was arrested pants down. She was detained by 2 border patrol agents in Chicago for throwing objects at them, making it the first time she has faced consequences.
What's your name?
Debbie Brockman, I work for WGN. Please let them know.
I got you. Yep. Debbie Browning?
Brockman,
WGN. You guys want to share your names too, or you're just going to cover your face?
It is quite shocking that FEMA is still paying for illegals to live rent-free in Maine, living in brand new apartments that cost between $1,800 to $2,200. Should Governor of Maine Janet Mills step down?
How much is rent here?
Free. 2 years.
After 2 years, we have to pay the rent.
All right, y'all, this is Savannah Hernandez in Brunswick, Maine, reporting to you from the apartments where migrants are getting their rent paid for up to 2 years. Now, I wanted to give you guys a first inside look at these units. The migrants shared with us that they come furnished, so they have a flat screen TV in there, couches, tables and chairs, a bed. We also asked them as well, hey, are you paying utilities here? They shared with us that nope, they do not have a water bill, they do not have an electricity bill.
And what about the light and the water?
Everything is good. We don't pay anything.
Now, I wanted to focus in on this area of Maine because there is a housing crisis going on currently for residents, and these buildings were initially created for Maine residents, but then it was decided that homeless migrants would be living here. Now, as an American, you can rent out one of these units, but a 1-bedroom is going to run you about $1,800, and a 2-bedroom is going to run you about $2,300. By the way, the average housing price for a house over here in Brunswick is about $480,000. So there was obviously a lot of outrage when it was first discovered that migrants were going to be housed here for free on taxpayer dollar.
The Canterbury Cathedral, an English church nearly 1500 years old, was used as an art exhibit by LGBTQ activists to promote inclusivity and representation. The artist Alex Poet self-identifies as a they-them queer vegan. Many worshippers are blasting the exhibit as sacrilegious and shameful. In Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban has banned LGBTQ propaganda. Do you think this is a great move, and should countries follow suit?
The mother is a woman, the father is a man, and leave our kids alone. Full stop, end of discussion. We decided we don't need more genders, we need more rangers. Less drag queens and more Chuck Norris.
More unemployed liberals are now wearing the frog outfit to protest outside Portland ICE facility. When will this madness end?
Hi, we're outside the ICE facility in the evening on whatever the day is, October. Can you guys let me know what you're here, why you're dressed as frogs?
Well, you know, the frog has become a symbol of what's going on down here. And so we decided to come support our friend Toad, who's been out here. You probably saw him on the news. And he's a friend from another pond. And so we decided to come down here and show our support for the insane government overreach that's going on in this place, and the fact that they're calling Portland an explosive, fire-ridden sort of, warland, which is not, because we're here.
Okay. And what's specific about the frog? Is it because of the one guy who'd been in that costume before? Was there any other symbolism to it?
That's the reason, He's an iconic symbol. He's all over the internet now, so it only made sense that more frogs joined in this fight.
Okay.
16 migrants were arrested on Long Island for systematically stealing clothes from a Catholic charity donation bin. They stole over $500,000, 8 of them identified as illegals.
You thought you've seen everything. Could you believe people would steal from a clothing bin and that they figure out a way to make money?
Suffolk County officials say a disgraceful scene was played out hundreds of times over the last year. Thieves shoving their entire body into donation bins, then emptying them of clothing intended for people in need.
We didn't know who was doing it, prior to the investigation. They uncovered all of this, and every time they filled us in on what was going on, we were just shaking our head.
St. Vincent de Paul Society officials say they went to law enforcement after years of donations. Their main source of revenue for the poor dramatically dropped. They started tracking the bags. The DA says they uncovered bins being hit over and over, 14 vans and storage facilities. Then hundreds of thousands of pounds of stolen clothing was sold to exporters.
The runners had specific routes and worked long hours, both overnight while everyone else was sleeping, and even sometimes brazenly during the day, including sometimes while church was in session.
16 people are charged, including juveniles, with selling more than 500,000 pounds of clothing worth $200,000.
You are literally taking food and clothing and shelter from these needy people's hands, and we will not stand for it.
The defendants pleaded not guilty. The charity lost an estimated $750,000.
People are getting very desperate and creative, if you will, not in a good way.
Since their surveillance cameras clearly weren't a deterrent, officials with St. Vincent de Paul say they're looking into other ways of making their donation boxes theft-proof. Since the arrests, donations are up 50%.
The Trump administration is enforcing citizenship and language requirements so that truck drivers will be able to read traffic signs and communicate. The crackdown on illegal truckers is happening.
The craziest thing just happened to me, gamers. So I'm driving through Indiana, and I pull into a truck weigh station. And I don't get pulled over by state police or DOT, but I got pulled in for ICE agents, and they asked for my ID, asked confirmation on where I live, and it was crazy. They were inspecting every truck that was crossing through that region in Indiana, and we were in Chesterton, Indiana, which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Chicago. I was not expecting it. Totally caught me off guard.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Gen Z Occupy! Gen Z Occupy!
Oh shit, here we go again.
We're coming for you! We're coming for you!
Hello, how are you? Welcome back to ShowNewTrend. I'm also today, and my name is Elvis Derry.